The movie kicks off with Riley and her dad, Cooper, driving to a concert to see Riley's favorite singer, Lady Raven. Bursting with excitement, Riley playfully asks her dad to run a red light, but he chuckles and declines. They soon arrive at the venue, and Cooper helps Riley catch a glimpse of the singer, Lady Raven, heading inside. Before they go in, Cooper asks Riley about the girls at her school, but she dodges the question. As they make their way into the building, Cooper notices police officers scattered around the area. Suddenly, Riley starts dancing, and Cooper takes out his phone to film her, laughing along. Over some snacks, Riley finally opens up, admitting that the girls her age don't include her in their activities. Cooper reassures her, giving her some comforting words. They find their seats, and Riley's eyes light up as she gets a better view of her idol. Cooper smiles, teasing that he managed to get the seats in exchange for her good grades. As the opening acts begin, Cooper becomes more aware of the police, who are questioning people in the crowd. Finally, Lady Raven takes the stage, and the lights dim. Riley is thrilled to see her idol live, while Cooper seems unfazed by the excitement. After a while, he tells Riley he's headed to the restroom, and she insists on staying put. Inside the restroom, Cooper pulls out his phone and watches a live feed of a man he seems to have captured. When he steps out, he runs into Jodi's mom, who apologizes for her daughter's behavior towards Riley. Cooper brushes her off, making it clear he didn't appreciate what went down between their kids. Meanwhile, more police, led by Dr. Grant, arrive at the scene. Cooper returns to Riley just as Lady Raven shares a heartfelt story about overcoming her childhood trauma and forgiving her abusive father. As the second song wraps up, Riley and Cooper head to the merchandise stand to buy a t-shirt, but another girl rudely demands it first. Cooper lets her have it, gently comforting Riley and easing her disappointment. The shopkeeper, Jamie, is impressed with Cooper and suggests he come back later to get a t-shirt. Sensing Jamie's curiosity, Cooper asks why there's so much security. At first, Jamie is reluctant but then reveals that the entire concert is a setup to catch a serial killer known as the Butcher. Alarmed, Cooper glances around and sees police everywhere. He tells Riley he's craving some cake and leads her back to the entrance, only to find police there, too. Using a drunken woman as a distraction, he tries to slip out with Riley, but the other exit is also blocked. Running out of options, he suggests they go back to their seats for her favorite song. When Lady Raven asks the crowd to summon her friend Parker, Riley is thrilled as Parker appears right next to them. Cooper tries to convince her to go backstage for a closer look, but she pulls back, saying, "You're acting weird, Dad." Cooper decides to get the t-shirt and follows Jamie to the storeroom, watching him use his keycard. Noticing Jamie's keycard, Cooper slyly steals it while helping with a box. He asks Jamie about the Butcher, and Jamie, a bit obsessed, shows him a photo and describes his brutality. Cooper then uses the keycard to enter a room where an officer is briefing others on the Butcher, emphasizing they need to isolate him to capture him. Pretending to be an employee, Cooper grabs a coffee and eavesdrops on their plans. Before leaving, he hides a walkie-talkie in the room. As Cooper heads out, he runs into Jodi's mom again. She confronts him, but Cooper is distracted by two nearby officers. Just then, a man is apprehended, causing a commotion. Noticing the FBI arriving, Cooper quickly returns to Riley. Cooper listens in as Grant talks to her team over the walkie-talkie. She tells them the man they've caught isn't their suspect. She warns her team that the real guy won't panic, instead, he'll be trying to find a way out. When an officer mentions the suspect might have a tattoo of an animal on his arm, Cooper glances at his wrist and sees his own tattoo. Staying calm, he quickly covers it with a ribbon he finds nearby and tells Riley he's going to grab his credit card. Cooper thinks about setting off the fire alarm to create chaos but stops when he hears Grant mention that she expects this move. He moves on and spots two officers guarding the roof access. Cooper sneaks into the kitchen and waits until the cook steps away. Quickly, he fills a pot with boiling oil and tosses in some glass bottles. Moments later, the bottles explode, causing a fire and burning the cook. Cooper grabs an apron and heads for the roof, but there are officers there too. One of them asks why he's there, and Cooper quickly lies, saying he came up for fresh air after seeing his friend get burned in the kitchen. Right then, the officers hear about the kitchen explosion, backing up Cooper's story. They ask him for the passcode, and he confidently says, "Hamilton, thanks to what he learned from Jamie." As he tries to leave, they demand his training card. Panicking, Cooper checks his pockets and finds a wallet. He shows them a card belonging to the apron's owner, narrowly avoiding suspicion. Before he leaves, he asks about Grant and learns she's an experienced profiler running the whole operation. On his way back, Cooper runs into Riley, who is upset that he keeps disappearing. He reassures her with a smile, promising to stay with her and enjoy the rest of the concert. They're enjoying the next song when Cooper is lost, thinking about a way out. Riley dreams of being the dreamer girl and tells her dad how Lady Raven always picks a girl from the crowd to dance on stage. Cooper perks up, learning they could get backstage access. Spotting a crew member nearby, he approaches and discovers the guy is Lady Raven's uncle. Cooper quickly spins a story about Riley recovering from leukemia and asks him to thank Lady Raven for her. Later, Raven's uncle returns to tell Riley she's been chosen as the dreamer girl. As they head to the stage, Cooper keeps a wary eye on the police. They get crew passes, and when a cop tries to question them, Raven's uncle backs them up, mentioning Riley's leukemia. On stage, the tour manager guides Riley and helps calm her nerves. Lady Raven calls Riley over, and Cooper watches his daughter live her dream. Then, he spots the profiler nearby and feels uneasy. As Riley's moment ends, he sees Grant approaching and uses a drunk girl as cover to slip away to the medical tent, avoiding the profiler. Riley finds him, and everyone is impressed with Cooper's supposed kindness. The tour guide invites them to watch the final song from the stage. During a break, Cooper notices Raven has asthma. She brings her friend, the Thinker, to perform with her. Cooper asks the guide if they can slip out the back door after the show, and she agrees, unaware of his plans. After the concert, he overhears the Thinker and Raven talking about heading to LA next. Cooper taps into a walkie-talkie and hears Grant ordering her team to check every man before they leave the building. The tour manager soon shows up and gives Riley some concert gear. When Cooper asks for an exit, the tour guide leads them, but Cooper panics at the sight of officers near the exit. Meanwhile, Raven heads to the control center where Grant tells her that 3,000 men attended the concert and that Butcher is one of them. She assures Raven they'll catch him. On her way out, Raven spots Riley and stops to chat, but Cooper jumps in, asking for a private word. Inside, Cooper thanks Raven for everything and drops the bombshell. He's the guy they're all looking for. As Raven stands stunned, he shows her a live video of his hostage, Spencer, a 22-year-old, and warns that he can kill him with one tap on his phone. He demands Raven help him escape in exchange for Spencer's life. With no other choice, Raven leads Cooper and Riley to her limousine, and they slip out undetected. Cooper asks Raven to drop them at the corner, but she cleverly asks Riley if she can visit their house, catching Cooper off guard. Riley calls her mom, gets permission, and Cooper blurts out their address. At the house, Raven is welcomed by Cooper's wife, Rachel, who introduces her to Riley's younger brother, Logan. Rachel invites Raven to stay for a bite, and she accepts. As they enter, Cooper warns her not to be too clever, reminding her that he's in control. Over pie, Rachel asks about the concert and learns it was no ordinary event. It was set up to catch the Butcher, a ruthless serial killer. She says they know a lot about him, including that he drives a dark car and has a troubled relationship with his mother. Cooper cuts her off and politely suggests Raven should leave, but Raven insists on playing a song and hides Riley's phone. As she plays, Cooper grows uneasy. Raven then asks for a selfie and quickly grabs Cooper's phone to take it, making him nervous. Raven heads to the bathroom, and when Cooper tries to stop her, his erratic behavior alarms his family. Inside, Raven uses Cooper's phone to call Spencer and learns that Spencer saw a broken lion statue on the way to Cooper's place and remembers the house has a blue door. Raven goes live and asks her fans to help find and save Spencer. A girl recognizes the location and promises to get her uncle. Raven tells her driver to call the police. Just then, she hears a noise outside, and Cooper bursts in, demanding all her phones. He checks his own and sees Spencer is missing, which enrages him. Keeping a firm grip on Raven's shoulder, he forces her into Rachel's car. Before they leave, Raven plays mind games, pretending to be his mother, warning him and asking him to be a good boy, but Cooper doesn't fall for it. As he opens the car door, he's shocked to see his family standing there. He realizes they escaped the locked room with a tree by the window. Raven helps them move to safety while Cooper tells them to look after themselves. Soon, Grant arrives with SWAT teams and gets the family out. Inside the house, they discover a tunnel leading to the neighbor's yard. They find one of their men knocked out, while an officer takes off in Raven's limousine. Grant is furious about losing Butcher again. Meanwhile, Raven's driver stops the car and reveals himself to be Cooper, handcuffing her. As they reach the city, Cooper starts threatening Raven, but she spots an opportunity, opens the window, and shouts for help. Cooper quickly shuts the window, staying calm, but Hoodie's next to him. The crowd stops the limo, and Raven manages to free herself and jump out. The police arrive and surround the limo, ordering Cooper to come out, but he doesn't respond. They open fire, only to realize it's another trick. Cooper has slipped away again, calmly walking off unnoticed. Back home, Grant talks with Rachel, who asks her about Cooper. Rachel reveals how smart he is and how her mother was the only one who saw something different in him. Grant urges Rachel to come stay with her sister and the kids, but Rachel refuses, saying she wants to stay at home. As she makes tea, Cooper appears and startles her. He tells her he realized the real trap was set for him at home, not at the concert. When Rachel nervously asks how he knew, she admits she suspected him because of the strange smell on his clothes and the lies he told their neighbor. Cooper pushes her for more, and Rachel confesses that she followed him to the secret house where he makes his plans. She says she found a torn concert receipt in his pocket and left it at the apartment to make it seem like his mistake. She called the police, hoping to prove her husband wasn't the butcher. As Cooper moves to attack, Rachel suggests he enjoy Riley's pie one last time. Cooper agrees, but as they eat, he tells her he feels a deep anger toward her. When they're finished, he realizes she found his bag and spiked his food with his own medication to calm him down. Cooper, furious and ready to attack Rachel, is stopped when his mother appears at the door, praising him for finally stopping the monster and welcoming him back as her son. As he steps closer, 2 officers hit him with stun guns. Cooper manages to knock one down, but Grant steps forward, revealing she was pretending to be his mother. They finally subdue him. As the officers lead Cooper to the prisoner transport, he pauses, glancing at Logan's bicycle. Riley rushes over to hug her father goodbye. As Cooper is loaded into the van, the camera focuses on a missing spoke in Logan's bike wheel. The scene cuts back to Cooper, who pulls the spoke from his sleeve, smiles, and frees himself, ending the movie with a twist.